The pentatonic scale shapes and patterns are the next steps in your guitar evolution to learning the entire fretboard and being able to play lead guitar or even be able to play rhythm guitar better and have a better understanding. The beauty of the pentatonic scales is that they're a little bit less complex than the full major scale. Why is that? Well, a full major scale, as we know, has 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 and 4 are half steps, and 7 back to 1 is our half step. So the pentatonic scale only has 5 notes, so in a way it's easier. But also the beauty of the pentatonic means you can play it over more chord progressions and not have to worry about specific notes that may not sound good. We'll get to that part later, but for the moment, if you've been struggling with learning either the shapes or learning how they fit together, putting them together across the whole fretboard and understanding that, then changing keys, then this video is for you. These tools are for you. This is why I designed the Fretboard Escalator in the first place, to simplify guitar playing. So I find, obviously, and so does everybody, guitar playing is hard. It's not easy. And the challenge is you've got to look at a piece of paper or a book or a video, and at the same time you have to fret your guitar, your fretboard hand, and you have to fret your picking hand, you have to, there's a lot going on, right? So if you could memorize these scale patterns, get them ingrained in your head before you even pick up the guitar, that's one less thing for you to have to focus on. So that's the intent of these tools. I'm going to show you how we do that in this series, but for now, what we have to understand is how to build the pentatonic scale. So the easiest way to do that is to take our major scale, because everything is built from the major scale, right? We just take the major scale, and as I said, we need to lose 2 intervals or 2 notes from it. So we're going from 7 down to 5, penta 5. So which 2 intervals do we get rid of? So when we're talking major scale, we get rid of the 4 and the 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop out the 4 and the 7, and all of a sudden this relatively over complex looking thing is going to get a bit easier to read. Okay, I've gotten rid of all the 4s and 7s from our scale intervals. This is now a major pentatonic scale. Now, again, it might be a little overwhelming because we've got the numbers in here, we've got some colors in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this away. I'm going to replace it with a fretboard escalator that does not have the numbers on it yet. Numbers are optional with a fretboard escalator. It comes with stickers. Some people just want to work by patterns, so that's why. So here is just a strictly pattern-based, and now this is no longer considered major or minor. These patterns are the same for major or minor, you just shift them up or down. But let's not get into that, we'll do that later on in the series. For now, what I want you to see is that we have 5 different distinct patterns, and you're going to recognize immediately the most famous one of all, which is this one. So if I cover this up, we've got that pattern. Now I'm not going to call it pattern 1, and I'm not going to call it pattern 5. It is just a pattern for you to learn at the moment. Now if we want to go to the next pattern, there is your next pattern. Now if I want to go to the next pattern, there's another one, so that's 3 patterns. Now here's 4 patterns, and now the last pattern, we've got these notes here, and then if I take this line and put it over here, that would be my 5th pattern, like that. Cover that guy up. Imagine that over here. Okay, so that's all the patterns of the pentatonic scale laid out on the fretboard escalator. So how am I going to help you memorize it for next time? How am I going to help you join them all together? Well, I'm going to do an individual video on every one of these patterns. I'll give you some tips and tricks possibly on how to practice them, but that's actually for your guitar instructor or your YouTube instructor or whoever to take care of with you. This video series is not about technique. It's not about how to hold the guitar or the pick. It's not about how to teaching you licks. It's going to get you those foundations so that you could go to your teacher and they can help teach you. All right, so we'll see you in the next one.